Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my Over the Wire Bandit tutorial. For those of you who are kind of unfamiliar with Bandit, it's a war game developed by the Over the Wire organization, mainly targeted at people who are kind of just beginners with Linux. So if you're starting out in, just learning Linux, this is great. Or if you're kind of starting to get into the cybersecurity realm of stuff, you want to get into, exploiting vulnerabilities, right? Bandit is a great place to start off. So in this video, we're probably going to go through levels, I'd say 1 through 10, and we'll just kind of break it up from there. So first, as you'll see here, I'm using Ubuntu Linux. You can use whichever distro Linux you want. Doesn't matter. You can actually use Windows. If you're on Windows, you can do all of this through PowerShell. But again, this is kind of more geared towards somebody who's starting out, like in the kind of cybersecurity field. And you definitely want to get your feet wet in Linux and get very familiar with the command line. So what we're going to do here, if you guys, and this isn't hard installed on my computer, this is just a virtual machine. So if you are not sure of how to do that, just YouTube it. It's super simple, super easy. And yeah, so we're just going to jump right into this basically. So we've got our Ubuntu box here. To start off, you just go to overthewire.org, go to War Games here, and then you click on Bandit, right? So this just kind of gives you an intro to everything. We don't really need to worry about any of this. But what we're going to do is start off here, level 0 to level 1. And we see here that the password for the next level is stored in a file called readme located in the home directory. Use this password to log in to Bandit 1 using SSH. Whenever you find a password for a level, use SSH on port 2220 to log into that level and continue the game. Alright, so you'll see here this has our SSH information. This is essentially how we're going to connect to the server. So all these levels are hosted on a remote server that we're going to connect to using SSH, which is just short for secure shell. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open up our terminal. So if you're using Ubuntu, you can just right click, click open in terminal, and that's going to open your terminal here in your desktop directory. Right, so the command you're going to want to use is, so we're going to use SSH TAC-P for the, which just means port number. So it tells us right here we're using port 2220. All right, and then we want to specify the user we want to log in with, which is going to be Bandit 0. And then we want to say @ and then the host name, which is right here. So we're just going to copy this. All right, and yeah, that should be it. So we're just going to go ahead and hit enter. And it says our password here is just going to be Bandit 0, right? So just type in Bandit 0. And here you are. You're logged into the server, right? So let me actually go ahead and make this just a little bit bigger. All right, cool. So again, going back to Bandit here. So it tells us that the password for the next level is stored in a file called readme located in the home directory. All right. So let me just kind of center this more. All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use clear command, get all that stuff off the screen. Right. So we're in the home directory here, which is notated by this little tilde, squiggly line, whatever you want to call that. And the way that we're going to show that readme files, we're just going to use the ls command, which just means list, which is going to show us all the files in our directory. We see that the readme file is the only thing in our directory, so the way we display that, we're just going to use cat, which is short for concatenate, which is just going to display the contents of that file. So cat readme, there we go, we have our password. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm just going to make a text file. So I'm just going to use Sublime. It's just my preferred text editor. And so we're just going to copy this. Oop, don't want to do that. And paste it in here. That way we just have all of our passwords saved so that we can just copy and paste everything in there. Right? Alright, so center this back up again. So we're just going to do exit to get out of our connection, and we're going to go ahead and go to the next level. So you can just hit up on your keyboard. This is going to bring up your previous command, and we're just going to place that 0 with a 1, because now we're logging in as Bandit 1, and I cannot remember the shortcut for paste, so I apologize. So I'm just going to right click. Alright, now you can see here at the bottom, I'm actually just going to clear that up. Now we're logged in as Bandit 1, so let's go ahead and go back to the website here. Alright, so now we see in level 1, the password for the next level is stored in a file called dash, located in the home directory. So, so we see here, so we can do an ls command again, and we just see a little dash. So we should just be able to, so you see here, when we try to just do the dash, the terminal, you know, just kind of doesn't know what to do, so we just use Control-C to exit out of there. So there's a couple different things we can do here, and the reason it's acting weird is because just the syntax of the command line in Linux, the way that it, you know, displays the characters, essentially, it just doesn't like that dash, you know, for whatever reason. So what we're going to do, and again, there's a couple different ways we can do this, but as we can see here, that dash is the only thing in our directory. So we can actually just do cat, and then we're going to do a period // and that period / denotes the directory we're currently in, and then you can just use an asterisk. Now what that gives us our answer, but what that asterisk does is it's going to display everything in our directory. So that asterisk is just known as a wildcard. But more specifically, we could say, okay, this current directory hyphen, right, and that would give us the same thing. So kind of like a math problem, there's, you know, in these levels just kind of going to be more than one way that we can do this. But that's, you know, just two simple ways right there. So whether you use the wildcard or the hyphen, in this particular level, it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to copy that, go to our text file here, paste that in there, and we are going to move on to the next level. So we're just going to go ahead and exit again and hit our up arrow, and to kind of shorten this up, we're just going to use Control-A to go to the beginning of the line, and that way we just don't have to use as many spaces. So we're going to go ahead and go to Bandit 2 and put our password in. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and go back to the tutorial here, and Bandit level 2. So the password for the next level is stored in a file called spaces in this file name, located in the home directory. Alright, cool. Oh, and something else you should also note, so it tells you right here commands you may need to solve this level. So it just gives you a list of helpful commands that you can use. So it kind of gives you some hints and kind of helps you out. Right, so this is going to be kind of similar to the last one, right? So we do, so we're in our home directory here. So we're going to use an ls to list the contents. And if we do cat, and then let's see here, spaces in this file name. So I'm just going to type in SPA. I'm going to hit the tab button, and it's going to autocomplete. And as you can see here, in Linux doesn't really like spaces in file names or in syntax in general. So if you're just to type in spaces in this file name, it wouldn't work. So you can use tab to autocomplete, and as you can see, it denotes these hyphens, which basically just tells the command line, hey, there's a space here, and this is the next word in the file name, right? And then that would give us our password. Again, just like the previous level though, we could do that same wildcard, that would give us the same thing. So yeah, whichever way you want to work. And the whole tab autocomplete function, that works with any command. And we'll kind of, I'll display that kind of later on in the video. So we're just going to copy this, go to our text file, paste that in there, and we're going to move on to the next one. As you can see, these first couple ones they're pretty easy. They're not bad, but they do get a little bit more difficult as we go. All right, so we're going to log in as level 3. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and do away with this. All right, we're just going to clear the screen here, make everything look pretty, go back to our tutorial. All right, so level 3 to 4. So let's go here. All right, so the password for the next level is stored in a hidden file in the in here directory. All right, so let's take a look at that. All right, so we do an ls, right, and you see that the color of the text here is blue, denoting that this is actually a directory. A directory, if you're not familiar with the term, is the same thing as a folder, and kind of like, you know, Windows syntax. But directory, folder, it's the same thing. Just in Linux, they use the term directory more often. So the way that we're going to get into the in here directory, we're going to use the cd command, which is just short for change directory. And then we're going to type in the name of the directory in here. And again, we can just type in, or actually just hit tab, and it auto completes for us. So now we're in the in here directory, use our ls command. And as you can see, we use our ls command and there's nothing there, right? Because again, remember it told us that there's a hidden file. So what we're going to do is we're going to say ls, and then we're going to do attack la. Okay, so the LA flags, you see that commonly in the command line, is there's different flags or different options to tell a command what we want to do. So you can pass flags to kind of be more specific with your command, right? So if we were just to do an ls tac l, that just kind of gives you a long listing, and it would tell you, like it even tells us, hey, there's no files in this directory. Well, that's not true, right? Because there is something, it's just hidden. So that's why we use that a flag to say all. We want to see everything, including hidden files. So that's where we get that dot hidden file from. And so all we have to do is just do a cat and then dot hidden. And there's our password. And again, just like before, we can use our wildcard. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so even if you try to use the wildcard technique, it's still not going to show you anything. I guess I thought that would work, but yeah, you learn something new every day. So yeah, just using that LA flag, you could also just do, I believe you could also just do an ls tac a, and it would just show you the hidden, this hidden file here. But this L flag gives us a little bit more information. We'll kind of get into what all this means a little bit later, right? So anyways, we got our password though, so let's go ahead and copy that, throw that into our password file, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next level. Clear everything up here. So we go, that is not what I want to do. I want to go to Bandit 4. I apologize if my keyboard's really loud. Try and type a little bit quieter. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and clear this up. Let's go ahead and go back to our tutorial here. So 4 to 5. We're almost halfway done. Alright, so the password for the next level is stored in the only human readable file in the in here directory. And it says tip if your terminal is messed up, try the reset command. Alright, so we got to go back into the in here directory. So as we do our list, we see there's the in here directory, cd into that. And as again, we see that, so we're looking for the only human readable file. Okay, so as we see here, there's a bunch of different files here, but only one of these is human readable. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do ls tac lah. Alrighty, so let's see here. I believe we want to use, so tell us, yeah, I think we want to use, what is it, the file command. So the file command should tell us which one of these is human readable. Alright, so here you go. So the file command just tells you what kind of data is associated with that file. So here this just says data, right? It doesn't know what data, it's just data. But here, file 7 says ASCII2 text, right? You don't, the ASCII2 part, that just, ASCII is essentially, it's just a, it's a standard protocol that computers use to interpret keystrokes. That doesn't matter. All you know is that this file has text in it, right? It's probably going to be one of our passwords. Let's go ahead and look at like file 1, for example. Let's see, file 00. And, oh yeah, that's right, we got to do our, and you see here it's just a bunch of garble, right? None of that makes sense. So, but what we want to do is cat, let's cat that file 7. There's our password, right? So that kind of gives you an intro to the file command. We'll use that a little bit later on and as the levels come up to know the specific details of what files are. So we're going to copy that, go into our password file here, paste that in, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next level. And again, I just use this ./wildcard statement to show the different file content of everything in this directory, right? You can, again, just specify that. So if we wanted to say, you know, file 7, it would just give us the output of file 7, right? But we use the ./* to see everything in that directory. All right, so we're just going to clear everything up, exit, and we're going to go on to level 5. And you'll see here, sometimes it can be a little bit slow. That's perfectly normal. All right, cool. Now we're here, logged in as Bandit 5. Let's go back to our tutorial. All right, so 5 to 6. All right, so the password for the next level is stored in a file somewhere under the in here directory and has all the following properties. It's human readable, 1033 bytes in size, and it's not executable. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we're working with here. CD in here, list, and as you can see, there is a lot of directories here. So let's just see what we're playing with. So let's just go to, you know, maybe here 00, right? And there's a bunch of files in here. So I mean, if we backed up one and then did a ls of, so there's 80 total files in this entire directory. Obviously, we don't want to go and check every single file. That would just take way too much time. So what we want to do here is we want to use our file command. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at our man page here. A man page is short for manual page. It kind of gives you just the it tells you essentially everything about that command. So we're just going to go ahead and do man file. And man pages are extremely useful, and it's being a little bit slow here because it's not, there we go, yeah. All right, so this basically tells you everything about our file command. So we can use a down arrow here, and see these options tells us which flags does what. So list, dereference, notepad. Yeah, so this isn't actually the command we want. Let's try the find command. Find command, and again, if we go back to our tutorial here, it gives us a couple hints, right, of commands we'd use. And it says find here. Find is a very useful command. As you can imagine, it's a command used to find files. So let's go ahead and look at that man page. And let's see what we're working with here. So I know that find has a size option, so if we actually do size, here we go here. So size, file uses in units of space, rounding up, the following suffixes can be used. Okay, so we're looking, so we see here our C option denotes that we want to look for a file size in bytes. And if we look down here, it gives us an example. So if we want to use this command, we would say tac size, tac, you know, whatever this number is, C, to say, you know, we're looking for a file with this many bytes. So let's just look for that. Let's just start with the size of the file first and see if we can find what we're looking for. So we're going to say find. All right, and we're going to look for everything in this directory. Well, first we actually want to say find and then tac size. And then we want to say 1033C, and then we want to look for everything in this directory. Path must precede expression. Okay, so we just need to put the file path before our argument there. And there you go. Okay, so we have a file path here. So maybe here file 2, or maybe here set the file 2. So we're just going to copy that. And yeah, let's well, actually we would let's just back up to this directory, ls. So it's saying .file2. Okay, so let's go. Let's just do that file command again. Let's just look at everything in this directory real quick. All right, so looking here. So, and again, we're looking for .file2. So not -file2, .file2. And for whatever reason, it has spaces, right? So, I like this. So ASCII2 text with very long lines. All right, so let's see here. ls tag lah. Let's see if this can give us a little bit more information. So .file2. So as you can see here, that's file 3. So you see here it says 1.1K. So it's just kind of rounding up the amount of bytes in the file here. I'm trying to think. I can't think off the top of my head of what exactly the command would be to show the not execute. So it's not executable. I can tell you it's not executable with the color coding here. So anything that's green, you can also see here this X permissions right here. This means it's executable, right? So anything in green or that has this X right here means it's executable. But for .file2, we see that it's white, which means it's not executable. It's just it just has the permissions to read and write. So we know that's not executable. We know it's human readable because it has ASCII2 text, and we know that it is 1.1 or about 1033 bytes in size. So let's go ahead and cat that file. So .file2. And there's our password. And as you can see here, what they did is and the reason it says with very long lines is because they essentially just padded in this file to make it 1033 bytes with random data. But the only thing that's really readable to us is the actual password here. So and the reason they did that is just to kind of make it more confusing. But here's our password. Awesome. So let's go back to our password file, paste that in there, and let's go ahead and move on to the next level. So let's kind of clear everything up. And we're going to go all the way to Bandit 6. Alright, so we're just going to paste that in there. Awesome. Alright, just kind of clear this up, and let's go back to our tutorial. Alright, so 6 to 7. So the password for the next level is stored somewhere on the server. It's somewhere on the server and has all the following properties. It's owned by user Bandit 7. It is owned by group Bandit 6, and it is 33 bytes in size. Alright, so owned by, we're actually just going to copy all this right here just to make it easier. We're just going to bring up our password file and just put a bunch of lines in there. Alright, so owned by Bandit 7, the group is Bandit 6, and it's 33 bytes in size. Alright, so we use our ls command. There's nothing, right? There's no directory or anything. We just know that it's somewhere on the server. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our find command again. So we're going to say find, and we're going to use our tac, and we're going to say, actually before that, because remember we have to put our file path first, we're going to say root, right? So the / denotes root, and it's talking about the root directory, right? And if we look at, I don't know if it's going to let us, but let's see if it'll let us cd into root, and then we list everything. So the root directory here, you can kind of think of this as like the C drive in Windows. Every single file, every single directory comes from the root directory. That's why it's called the root directory, right? So we're essentially saying root because we want to look at every single file and directory on the server, right? So let's clear that up again. So let me just kind of center this up a little bit better here. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to use our find command, and we're going to use the tac, and we're going to say, so we know it's owned by user Bandit 7, so we're going to say tac user, and we're going to say Bandit 7, and then if you can guess, our next flag is going to be group is going to be Bandit 6, And again, just like the last level, we're going to do tax size 1033 and then add that C at the end for bytes. And bandit is not the name of an existing group. Oh, I put a space in between bandit 6. Oops. Yeah, half the battle working with Linux is just typing in the right things. All right, so we get a pretty big output here, right? So we see all this garble right here. Okay, so first thing first, in this output that we have, everything that's permission denied, obviously we can't see that. We don't have permissions to read that. Obviously our password isn't going to be there, so we don't want to look in any of that. And then it says no such file or directory. We don't want to worry about that either. So we're just going to keep scrolling down here, right? So nothing up here. This is all permission denied. We're going to scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and so let's see. Permission denied, permission denied, permission denied. Oh, where is it here? Right, somewhere here. This is kind of ugly to look at. No such file. Permission denied, denied, denied. Interesting. Denied, denied. So let's make sure. See, find user bandit 7 group bandit 6 size 1033. Oh, I see what we didn't do. We didn't put root in there. Again, half the battle is just making sure you're typing in the right commands. So we're just going to go ahead and put that in there again. Alright, so see here, denied, denied, denied. Denied. Sorry, I'm just having a little bit of trouble finding this file. As you can see, this output is really really ugly. Here, let's clear. Oh, okay. So there's more down here. Let's all right. So let's clear everything up real quick, and then let's put that command in again. Oh, I don't know why. Okay, that's really weird. It just threw all those commands in there. There we go. So find root, attack user, bandit 7 group. All right. So this kind of looks like everything from before. Denied, 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 denied. No such file directory. Denied, denied, denied. This is very interesting. Let me backtrack, make sure I'm doing everything right. Find, and we're gonna say user. So I apologize here. So we have attack user. I feel like I'm just not using this command correctly. Let's see here. Let's try that. It's been a while since I've used find, so yeah, no, okay, so yeah, that's not it. Yeah, I mean, that should be it. User, group. Why is it not finding it? This is, yeah, user is Bandit 7, group is Bandit 6, and the size is... Oh, I'm an absolute idiot, guys. I put 1033 instead of 33. Alright, so... Again, the biggest battle, making sure you're putting everything in right. Alright, so we see here at the bottom of our output, the only output we have that does not give us a permission denied or no file directory is this specific path right here. So varlib dpackageInfo bandit7.password. So we're just going to copy that and we're just going to cat it. There's our password. Alright. That one kind of gave us a doobie. Gave us the runaround. Alright. Paste that in there. Alright, cool. Alright, so let's finally go ahead and get on to the next level here. Alright, so exit. And let's go ahead and go to Bandit level 7. Alright. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to our tutorial here. Let's check out level 7. Alright, so the password for the next level is stored in the file data.txt next to the word millionth. Alright, so let's check that out. Let's go back to our terminal here. Let's get that out of the way. We don't need that. Make this a little bit easier to read. Alright, so let's go ahead, list. Alright, so we have this data file. So it told us that the password's next to the word millionth. Let's just cat this file and let's just see what we're working with. Alright. So pretty big output here. So as you can see, we're just going to control C. We don't want to see everything. Oh no, it's just going, and I can't stop it. Okay. Oh, it's just being really slow. All right, so yeah, you could sit here and look and be like, well, where's the word millionth? But obviously, that takes way too much time. So we're just going to filter our command. So what you can do here is do cat like we did previously. Say data.txt, and we're going to use a pipe, and then we're going to say grep, and then millionth. And what this grep is going to do, grep is just short for global regular expressions, I believe. Grep is essentially, you can kind of just think of it as like a fancy find command. It allows you to filter through outputs, you know, looking in a specific file or directory, and then pass it a string or just a simple word like millionth. And so basically all we're doing is saying, hey, we want to display the contents of data.txt and then look for an expression that says million. So let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. Now the shorter way of doing this, I believe this might work. I am not the grep ninja by any means, but I think this will work. So if we say data.txt, so we put that in quotes, and then we also put millionth in quotes, this should give us the same output, I believe. That's yep. No grep, no such file directory. Okay, so there's probably, I know there's a way that you can look for this without having to cat it first. A bunch of renowned Linux users will tell you, no, you don't need to cat it, then grep it. I just don't know exactly how to denote the command to grep data, because what it's doing is you're saying, okay, grep data, and then grep millionth. But it's treating millionth as a file itself and not looking in the data file. I wonder if we could pipe it. Maybe? No, I don't think that would work. No. All right. Well, anyways, regardless, we still found our password here. So again, we just catted the contents of this data file and then say, hey, look for this millionth expression, and it's going to display the entire line. So the word millionth and then and then this here's our password. So we're just going to copy that, go into our password file here. And let's go ahead and go on to the next level. So exit. And we will go to Bandit level 8. We're almost done here. Paste. Alright, cool. Clear that up, and let's go back to our tutorial. So go on to level 8. Alright, so the password for the next level is stored in the data.txt file and is the only line of text that occurs only once. Alright, so kind of similar to the last level. So let's go ahead and see what we're working with here. We have our data file, so let's just go ahead and cap that. Let's just see what we're working with. It would help if I gave it the file name. Alright, so as you can see here, this is just random, right? Just random characters. So what we can do here is we can use the sort command, and let's sort this to display everything in order. Alright, cool. So we use that sort command, and basically what sort does by default is, I believe it will just sort everything based on alphabetical order. So you see here is the end, we have Z. If we go all the way up to the top, we will see V. That's weird. Uppercase V is the first. Or no, that's the previous output. So we want to look. My God, there's so much here. So we want to look here. So yeah, starting with 0, and it's the only line of text that occurs once. So you could probably like start from the bottom and go, okay, yeah. Okay, here you go. There's your password right there, because this only occurs once, right? That's kind of the cheater way of doing it. So what we could do here, and I believe, let's look at our man page, because I honestly do not remember how to sort it only once. So let's look. So sort lines of text files. So if we look at our description here, so we say ignore case, month, sort. And the reason I'm showing you these man pages is because in a pinch, if you're not exactly sure how to use a command, those man pages do come in handy. You can of course just Google them, and probably it would probably give you, like, if you Googled, how to use the sort command, it'd probably give you a better explanation, because looking at these man pages in the terminal is a little bit ugly, but, for whatever reason, maybe you don't have internet connection or something, you're working on a system that's air-gapped, these man pages can definitely come in handy. So that's why I'm using them so much. That, and I cannot remember how to use every single command. And if one day you are a Linux admin, you're, unless you just use these commands every day, day in and day out, you're not going to know. So, this is just kind of coming from a more realistic standpoint of using your resources to find what you're looking for. So, looking here, so compare according to string numerical value. Let's see here. Check, debug, stable, buffer, field, unique. So let's see, check for strict ordering without text C. Output only the first. I think maybe it is that unique. Let's just go ahead and, so we have the password, but again, look, we want to do this the legit way. So I think, let's see here. So sort tag u data.txt. Well, that doesn't give us what we want. Alright, so let's just hop in the Google box, because I don't feel like looking through that nasty man page. So how to use sort to find file that occurs once. Hopefully it doesn't give us a bandit walkthrough. Here you go. How to find the particular text stored in the file.txt and only occurs once. Oh, okay, so unique tag u. Okay. So okay, we just didn't, I guess, read that command page all the way. So cat data.txt. So sort, and then we want to say, okay, so we want to say sort, and then we want to say unique, which is another command, and then pass it that u flag, and I'm just waiting for the terminal to catch up here. And there you go, there's the password. So if we just use unique on this, all it's going to do is it's just going to show you everything that, so as you can see here, nothing's really repeating. That unique command, just using that without flags, it's just going to show you, it's going to show you everything that occurs once, but not entirely. So using that U function, so again, if we go to our man page, we go to unique, and we look at our tac U, and it says only print unique lines, right? So if we don't use that tac U flag, it's going to show us, it's just going to output everything displaying once. But if we say tac U, that's going to look at the entire data file and say, okay, this is the only line of text that occurs once and does not repeat. So again, that is cat data.txt pipe sort. So we want the cat it to display. We want to use the sort command to sort everything in alphabetical order, and then we're going to use unique with the tac U flag to look for that line that occurs only once. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, and that's how we find our password here. So the first step is to show you how to find it, but again, it's kind of cheating. This is the actual way you would do it. Alright, so exit here, and we're going to go to help if I could type right, and we're going to go to Bandit level 9. Alright, let's go ahead and minimize that. And whoops, did not mean to do that. Alright, cool, there we go. Alright, so let's go back to our tutorial here. Level 9, we're almost done. Alright, so the password for the next level is stored in the file data.txt in one of the few human readable strings preceded by several equals characters. Okay. So again, it's kind of using the same format as the previous level. So we look in this, we cat this, right, and this is a bunch of garble. Okay, and what we're looking for again is that password is preceded by several equal signs. So what we can actually do here is use the strings command, and what strings is going to do is it's just going to output strings from that data file instead of all the other garbled nonsense. So let's go ahead and try strings, right? Okay, so this gives us actual readable characters, and if we scroll up here, you can see here's our password. So it's preceded by several equal signs, and then we know by the format of the passwords this would be the password. But if we use grep, so we should be able to say grep and then equals, and let's just throw like, 3 equal signs in there. And I like that. The password is this. So it even tells you the password is that. So that's kind of cool. So that's how you can kind of use the grep command to kind of, more specifically filter the output of that. So let's grab our password here, throw it in our password file, and one more level, and we will be done with this video. Alright, so, well, let's actually log in to level 10. Alright, very well, so paste that in there. Oh, and if you're curious, the default keystrokes to paste in the terminal is Control-Shift-V instead of just Control-V. But anyways, let's clear this up, and let's see what we're going up against here. Level 10. Alright. So the password for the next level is stored in the file data.txt, which contains base64 encoded data. Alright. So you might be like, oh, base64, what is that? It even gives you helpful reading material, base64, so you can read upon that. But essentially, base64 is just an encoding scheme to kind of help computers understand data better in a nutshell, essentially. So let's just cat this and see. All right, so this is the output. And this is a bunch of garbled nonsense. Okay, so what we want to do, and again, we know that this is base64 encoded data. So the way that we are going to get our password is we want to decode this file. And the way that we do that is we're just going to simply do base64. We're going to use our tacd argument for decode, and then data.txt. There you go. Password is this. And again, if we use our man page, and we use base64, Okay, just loaded up weird. And you can see right here, the TAC-D option is to decode data. All right, pretty easy one. So we grab this, all right, put that into our password file. All right, and just to make sure it works, just to be extra sure and to verify, go to level 11, paste that in there, and there you go, Bandit 11. All right. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll be putting up another video here shortly on levels 11 through 20. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.